In today's video, I'm going to show you how to create an invoice in Google Sheets from scratch, so you can build a professional custom billing document without spending a dime on templates or software. Google Sheets is incredibly versatile for this kind of task because it combines the flexibility of a spreadsheet with the ease of cloud access, meaning you can send invoices from anywhere, track payments, and even duplicate your template in seconds for repeat use. If you find this helpful, please like and subscribe, and let's get started. We'll begin by opening a blank Google Sheet, and the first thing you want to do is lay out the structure of your invoice. Think of your invoice as a document divided into clear blocks of information, each serving a specific purpose. Starting in rows 1 through 5, I recommend placing your header block. This is where you'll put your company name, which you can bold and increase the font size to make it stand out, along with your logo if you have one. Just go to Insert Image and place it over in the top left corner. Below your name, add your email, phone number, and physical address. The reason you keep this in the first 5 rows is to establish a clean, professional top section that immediately tells the client who they're paying. Now for the invoice metadata, you'll want to move over to a separate column block, typically columns E and F. Here on the right side of the sheet, enter labels like invoice number, date issued, and due date. You can set the date to automatically update using the =today AXI function, which is a handy trick to avoid manual entry each time. This separation between the header on the left and the metadata on the right creates a balanced, standard invoice layout that clients expect to see. Next, we need to handle the billing details. Leave a few blank rows after your header. Around row 7 or 8 works well, and then add a Bill To section. This part is critical because it specifies exactly who is responsible for payment. Type Bill To in bold, then below it, leave room for your client's name, their company name, and their physical address. A common pitfall here is not leaving enough space, especially if your clients have long company names or multi-line addresses, so I suggest dedicating at least 3 to 4 rows for this section. Remember, clarity on the billing address can prevent disputes later, especially if you're sending invoices for larger projects or to corporate accounts. You can also add a Ship To section if you're dealing with physical goods, but for most service-based invoices, the Bill To is sufficient. Now let's move to building the itemized table, which is the heart of your invoice. Starting around row 12 or 13, depending on how much space you've used, you'll create a clean table with 5 core headers spanning across columns A through E. Label column A item/service name, column B description, column C quantity, column D unit price, and column E amount. I recommend highlighting this header row and adding a background color, like a light gray or a soft blue, and bolding the text so it visually separates the table from the rest of the document. This table is where you'll list every product or service you're billing for. For example, if you're a freelance designer, column A might say logo design, column B could be initial concept and 3 revisions, column C would be 1 inch for quantity, and column D would be the price, say $500. The key here is that column E, the amount, should not be typed manually. Instead, you'll use a formula. Click on cell E15, type an equals sign, then click on C15, type an asterisk for multiplication, then click on D15 and hit enter. This formula multiplies the quantity by the unit price, and it will automatically calculate the total for that line. Once you've done it for the first row, you can click and drag that formula down to the rows below so it applies to every new item you add. This automation is what saves you time and eliminates math errors. After you've listed all your items, you'll want to add some subtotal and total rows at the bottom of the table. A few rows below your last item, type subtotal in column D, and in column E, use the =sum function to add up all the amount cells. For instance, if your amounts are in E15 through E20, you'd write =sum E15 E20. Below that, you can add a row for tax, say sales tax 8%, and then a final row for total. For the tax row, you'll set column E to multiply the subtotal by the tax percentage, like $E22*008, and for the grand total, simply add the subtotal and the tax rows together. Don't forget to format these final numbers as currency by highlighting the cells, going to Format, Number, and selecting Currency, or even a custom format with 2 decimal places. This small detail makes your invoice look polished and trustworthy. We're nearly done, but let me share one more best practice that beginners often overlook: the terms and payment instructions. Below the total, leave a few blank rows and type payment terms and payment instructions. You can list things like net 30 inches or due upon receipt, and then provide your preferred payment method, whether that's a bank transfer, PayPal, or a link to a payment portal. This eliminates any confusion about when and how to pay, which speeds up your cash flow. Optionally, you can freeze the first row with your header so it stays visible when you scroll down by going to View, Freeze, and selecting one row. Once your invoice is complete, go to File, Download, and choose PDF to send a professional, locked copy to your client, or simply share the link with view-only permissions from Google Sheets. You've just built a fully functional custom invoice in Google Sheets that's tailored to your business. You now have a reusable template that calculates totals automatically, reduces errors, and gives you a professional edge without any expensive software. As a next step, I'd recommend saving a copy of this sheet as your master template and then duplicating it for each new client so you always have a clean slate. If you ever need to track payments, you can add another column for status with drop-down options like paid or pending using data validation. Thanks so much for sticking with me through this tutorial. If you found it useful, please save the video to a playlist so you can revisit these steps anytime you need to send out a new invoice. Happy billing, and I'll see you in the next one.